Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Monday, July 22nd, and we are in the middle of, we're nowhere near the middle, I should say. We are in the beginning because we're only up to chapter 3. We're doing a very deep dive of Ezekiel. So far, the Holy Spirit is leading to do the entire book of Ezekiel. So it's very possible that this study is going to take us many months. It may even take us an entire year to get through all 48 chapters of Ezekiel. On Friday, we got to, Thursday and Friday, we started Ezekiel chapter 3. And so today we're up to verse 12. And there's a lot of stuff in here to unpack. So let's get into it. Verse 12. Then the Spirit lifted me up. Okay, we're going to stop right here and think this through. When the Spirit is lifting you up, you have no part in that. It is all being done through the empowerment of the Holy Spirit. Keep that in mind. And I heard behind me the voice of a great earthquake. Okay, that struck me as odd. An earthquake does not have a voice, but you've got to keep in mind, and I've said this so many times in this study, Ezekiel is trying to describe something he has never seen, never heard, to people who have also never seen and never heard it. So it's very difficult to describe it. And this is what the earthquake said. Blessed be the glory of the Lord from its place. It's praise, it's worship coming from this voice. And then we get the source of the voice in verse 13. It was the sound of the wings of the living creatures as they touched one another, and the sound of the wheels beside them, and the sound of a great earthquake. Okay, the movement of these creatures, of these God-created creatures that are being directed by the Lord, creates a great earthquake. Something profound is happening here. The Spirit filled me up. Okay, so not only is the Spirit lifting him up, the Spirit is filling him up and took me away. And I went in bitterness in the heat of my spirit. Okay, what does that mean? It took me a while to be able to break that down and figure out what that meant. I had to read a whole lot of commentary. And basically what it means is, even though Ezekiel is very upset by what he's experiencing, he's going anyway. He's submitting to it anyhow. And that's a great message for us. Sometimes the things that God calls us to do are going to be things that we really don't want to do in our flesh. But there's blessing in being able to do it anyway. And then the hand of the Lord being strong upon me. The Lord was really pushing him into his calling. And we're going to see what his calling is tomorrow. Then we get to verse 15. And I came to the exiles at Tel Abib, who were dwelling by the Chebar Canal, and I sat there where they were dwelling. And I sat there overwhelmed among them 7 days. Okay, interesting that it's 7 days. 7 is the number of completeness. And what we need to take away from this is that it's okay to be so distressed by a word from the Lord that you really need time to absorb it. You know, maybe you've been in a place where you're reading a book of the Bible and you've read it hundreds and hundreds of times, and it hits you in a way that it never hit you before. And you just needed that time to sit back and really ruminate on it. Maybe you only read one phrase. Maybe it was one sentence. Maybe it was a paragraph. Maybe it was a chapter. But you really needed time to let the Holy Spirit interact with your spirit to be able to get what God wanted you to get out of that. That's the place that Ezekiel is in. It's a wonderful model for us to follow. When you feel that prompting from the Holy Spirit to sit back and meditate on something that you've read, something that you've heard, and let it really ruminate within you so you can understand it more deeply, allow that to happen because it's preparing you for the calling that we're going to read about tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.